Hi everyone, today I'm unboxing a couple of different products, starting with this one. This is a Maker X, Unleash Your Magic, and this is a cordless glue gun. Now when I originally bought this, I thought it was a cordless glue gun like it said on the front, but apparently you need some extras for this. So they're the things that I'm going to be unboxing in this video. So we're starting off with this one. This is the Maker X. I have already opened the box. I've not actually took it out and used it or anything like that, so I just wanted to show you what you actually get with this. It's a Maker X system, which I didn't realise until after I'd bought it, but you can buy multiple different attachments for the Maker X. I've bought a couple, one being this and one being in the next unboxing. It's a 25-second heat up. It's a 20-volt max power share. Now I love the Worx tools. I've got power tools that I use around the house and for other projects, and they're very easy to sort of swap the batteries over and keep them all charged and everything like that. So I do generally use the Worx tools, and they've been really good value and good quality, so I thought why not use them in crafting. Now I've got a couple of projects coming up which will require this and the other tool that I'm going to show you. So I'm going to unbox it all so that I've got it available for the videos that I've got coming up in the future, because I need to start getting to use it. So we open the box, and in the box you get some glue sticks. In there you get 10 glue sticks that you get in there. Then we get the machine. Then we get a big fat book with the warranty and anything else. A little book about the actual Maker X system. So the reason why I liked the idea of this once I figured out, because I was going to send this back originally, I thought, well, I need a massive bit of machinery to operate this. But the kind of things that you can use these tools for, I think I'm going to use quite a lot. So the system is cordless wood and metal crafter, cordless rotary tool, cordless angle grinder, cordless mini heat gun, and a cordless airbrush. So these are all things that you can use with this system. And obviously this is aimed more towards little project areas, so you know, things at your desk like I'm going to be using it for, or a small space in a garage or a shed if you've got a lot of space for big power tools. Then we have the 3-year warranty, a helpline number. The customer service have actually been really good if there's been any problems. I know members of my family use the same products, and they've always had good customer service. So on there they've got an email address and a web address that you can contact, as well as a helpline number from multiple different countries. And then we have the main book. Now these look a bit overwhelming at first, but generally it's only a couple of pages in languages. Yeah, so English, it's page 6 and it's only up to like page 16. Then we have the tool itself. Very lightweight. In fact, I don't know how heavy this is. I might even go and weigh it and actually put the details on the screen if I remember to do that. But it's very lightweight, very lightweight. Good push button. Again, another reason why I like Worx tools is I find them quite easy to handle. I do have manual dexterity problems, and they generally do have a decent non-flimsy operation, so it's another good reason why I like this, and obviously how quick it actually heats up. On the back there is a connection. Obviously not sure exactly how that works yet until we open the box of the the main area, which we'll be doing in this video, and obviously a space for your glue stick there. So that's the first product that we're unboxing in this video. I'll move on to the next one. Next we have a rotary tool. So this is a cordless rotary tool. It runs on the same system. So this is a 20-volt max cordless rotary tool. So on there it says accepts standard bits from all brands, compact brushless motor, cordless rotary tool, and that's about as much information that is on the back. On the side again, it just gives you the details of what other products that you can actually buy to use with this. My idea is to do some acrylic work coming up soon, and some other projects which I'm going to need a rotary tool for. I do have a bigger like garage version that I use that I plug into the wall, but I wanted something that I can use at my desk, that's lightweight, that's not going to be hurting my hands, and this seemed like a good option, so that's why I got it. So let's get this box open. And there, first of all, we get some little bits to actually use with the machine. Little spanner in there, and we'll open that bag up and have a proper look at it in a minute. And inside we have the machine and some paperwork and another little book. Now I'm presuming this book is going to be the same as the one we've just looked at for the glue gun. It's exactly the same, so we don't need to re-look at that. The instruction manual isn't as thick, whether that's just because it's not in as many languages, I'm not sure. I'll have a quick look. That's your warranty, product warranty. Yeah, this one's totally in English, that's why it's a lot thinner. You get your little sanding discs, you get these things to attach your tools to, you get some sanding drums, and then we have the tool itself. That's the tool, again extremely lightweight. We have the collar at the top which we can take off. These little spanners, you know, they're good to just keep handy in a drawer next to you if you're keeping this on a desk. On the top we have the attachment for the power, and this is your lock to take this, to undo this bit at the top. Really lightweight, in fact. Yeah, they've designed it so it feels like a pen, like a fat marker kind of thing. Feels like it's going to give me really good control. It's lightweight. It's not over heavy in certain areas. It is looking like it will be easier to use and to control. But we won't know until we actually start doing some projects. So that's what it looks like out of the box. It's got a really good grip on it. This is sort of like a rubbery grip, but not like, it's like a firm rubber. It's not like a squishy rubber, but the grip is all the way up, so even if you end up using it for whatever reason you do like this, you know, you've got hold of a grip all the way up. The only shiny bits are this bit up at the top, which obviously you're not going to use because that's where your vents are, and obviously at the bottom you're not going to put your hands near here anyway, but the full shaft of that is in that kind of non-slip grip. It's not something that's going to slip out your hand very easy. So that's the cordless tool. Next, what is a tool without some accessories? And a girl has got to have accessories. So this is the accessory bundle that I bought. This is again from Worx. I like that it's strong and sturdy. The Worx accessory storage and tool storage are always really good. They're always well packaged and easy to use. On the side there's this little flip hinge, and that opens up so you can get all of your tools. And then in here we get little pots of your sanding discs, plenty of different ones. In there it feels like the actual grinding discs. In this one, I've not actually used this before, so I can't really say what it actually is, but it's a form of a paste, and I'm not sure if it's just for polishing or whether it's for the first surface, second surface, I'm not sure, but that's something to do with the polishing. But again, I don't know exactly what it's for as yet, so I need to have a look into that. Have we looked in this one? No, we haven't. Again, some more sanding discs. Obviously these will be different grits. And last but not least, that was clever, some more sanding discs. I've noticed on the back of these they do have different letters, so I will have a look at exactly what they're for and how they're used before I obviously go ahead and start using it. So that's the kit. Case closed. This main machine is quite large. It comes in a proper case, as in like a tool case. Hard plastic. And these are the tools, like I said, that you can go ahead and purchase, as well as some of the other tools that they've got marked down here. On the top, it opens with these two clips. You've got a carrier handle there. Like I said, they always make really good cases. I'm sorry I can't get this in shot. You see, you can tell it's not been opened because it's still got the zip tied on. We'll try and open this again. So this is what it looks like when you first open it. Get a safety and operating manual and instructions. There is some weight to this, so I'm pretty sure there's quite a bit of paperwork. So we get another little book like we've already looked at the other ones, and these are all the manuals that you get for the tools. You get the manual for the wood burner, soldering iron, metal melter, whatever you want to use it for. You get the heat gun, mini heat gun, and the cordless airbrush manuals. You get the safety operating manual for the actual charger and the charger and the battery pack and everything that comes with it. Safety and operating manual for the hub, they call it the Hub X. The 12-volt cordless rotary tool. A bunch of papers. These have warranty and helpline numbers, so that's in there as well. That's the paperwork done. Okay, this is what we get. We get to play. So in this box, let's have a look what we get. We get clips, so you can hold it onto yourself or hold it onto the whichever tool that you want to hold it onto. You get some sanding blocks, some polishing pads, and I'm not sure what these are called, whether they're sanding barrels. There might be an official name for them, but I call them sanding barrels. It's a cool little box actually to fit all your little bits and pieces in there. We get all the extra bits. That's a nice little box. Again, really well made, good quality, always have been from the Worx. We get 12-volt power share battery. I have several of these dotted around the house because I use Worx throughout the house. Worx, if you're listening and you want to sponsor me, I don't mind trying out all your other products and give them reviews on my channel. You can contact me in the details below. I don't think that'll happen, but I'm just putting it out there. So that's the battery. I've got one of these already. This is the battery charger. So on this one is the 3-prong UK plug. Whether that changes in different countries depending on where you're ordering it from, I couldn't tell you. But this one does obviously come with the UK plug. So that's the battery charger. So this must be the hub. So you've got your power button there, and I'm presuming that is for your speed. Obviously we'll look at that in more detail when we get it out of the case. A USB charger. there. So I'm not exactly sure why there'd be a USB charger on this. Obviously I need to look at the instruction manuals. So that's USB fitting. I'll have a look and see what that is actually about. That's the place for your battery to go. So these basically just clip in like that, and they're very easy to do. You press that, and this is another reason why I like this brand. They're so easy to actually get out. They normally are. This one's brand new, so it might take a minute. There we go. Just not having my hands in the right position to do it. And on these it has a button on there telling you how much actual power is in the charge. This one does need charging, which is really good having them around. You can just put them on charge around the house, so glad to have another battery. I'm presuming that is what's classed as your cordless charger. Obviously it's not cordless because there is a cord on it. I'm presuming it means it's not plugged into the mains. It's sort of, this bit sits on your desk. That's the hub part. We'll have a look at that in a bit more detail shortly. So in this kit we get, let's start here, we get the rotary tool. They don't look like it's something to do with this tool. So I'm going to put them to one side for now and we'll have a look in the instruction manual in a few minutes. Same with that one. That's the Worx rotary tool. All clips in, really nice and secure if you want to take this out and about to do any projects. This is your soldering iron, wood burner, metals, you know, thin metals, alloys that you can heat up to do different projects with, depending on what you've got planned. Again, same connection which plugs into the hub. There is an on button and a plus and a minus button. Not sure what those are for as yet. And on this side we have the heat gun. Again, exactly the same connection at the top. I like that it's got this little guard so it's not actually touching your desk and it's away. You obviously can prop this up so you can point it towards any work that you've got, you know, sitting vertical. Don't know how good it is yet because obviously I've not used it. There's your heating gun. Is there any controls on it? Can't see any controls on it, so I'm presuming that works from the hub. The controls on the hub actually controls the heat of it, and the on and off switch is also on the hub. That's the heat gun. And then here we have the paint compressor. So there's your power again. That's your attachment for all this bit. There's no other controls I can see on this actual bit, but obviously the control will come from the hub and also the trigger on this part. I have seen these, but I've never actually used one, so I don't know a lot about them. I think some of these accessories are part of that as well, so let me get out of the way and we'll bring some bits on the desk. Okay, the accessories. Now I've looked throughout all the books and I cannot find what these are actually for in the book, but stands to reason to me that it's part of the air compressor and the for the paint sprayer. I can't see them being used with any of the other tools, so that's what I'm presuming these are for, because there is a pipette in there, a cleaning brush and a tiny little spanner. So I'm pretty sure that's what they're for. So that's the first bag that we got. So we're going to take a look at the hub itself first. I've actually gone and got another battery from the house because this one's only got a small amount of charge in it. Some of these batteries don't have the button. I know the thicker ones that I have do have this button on the back, but I like that this one has the charging, so you can actually just check it on your desk and make sure it needs charging. So this is off one of the other tools that I have. I don't know which one it is, but it doesn't really matter because you share them. So on this hub, obviously got the on and off switch. Now I did mention on the sides here there's a USB, and I weren't sure what this was for, but it's actually for, we open this up, the belt clip. So you can have this attached to your own belt and you can use it hands-free. So it's on your belt or clipped to your desk or wherever you want to do it, and you just interchange the tools that you're using and work off one battery, which will last a decent amount of time because it's not something that needs recharging all the time. Plus the fact that there's continuous power going to it. There will be no heat loss on the heat gun or heat loss on the glue gun, things like that. So yeah, it's really a good idea to have a continuous source of power going. So I've not looked at this yet, but it looks like this goes in there, and there is a little screw which probably is in this kit. Let's have a look. They normally do provide you with everything you need. Works, they're pretty good. There you go, he's hiding at the bottom. So that's your belt clip, and then obviously you put your little screw. Luckily I've got the right size there. So that goes in like that, and then we just tighten it up. And then you can hang that anywhere on your desk or on your belt or wherever you plan on having it, and obviously you can take that off as well. It's just a screw if you need to use it. I can see me locking this onto one of my drawers that I've got to the side of my desk, so it's all still and out of the way, and then I've just got the cable to one side then. So that's the first bit, that's the belt thing at the side. Now, how long is the cable, just in case you guys want to know that? Doesn't say on the book how long it is, but I can give you an estimate. So I'd estimate it's 1 metre long, that. Yeah, it's not going to be more than 1 metre long. So you get a good length, especially if you just sat at your desk. Technical data, just in case you want to know. Output, 20 volt, 10 amps max. I have this one because I've got a USB port on it. So this one is output 20 volts, 10 amp max, or output 5 volts, a 2 amp USB port. Input is your 20 volt battery. Battery types, your lithium battery pack. Voltage, 20 volume, 20 volts. And your weight is 80 grams, and then it goes through your different models there for your actual batteries and what capacity they hold. Next page. So this goes through and tells you about how to operate it. Okay, the USB is to power some kind of lamp or light or magnifying light or something. I'm not exactly sure what this is or what it would actually be used for, but I think it'll actually come in handy for a few different things that I've got lying around, like charging cameras and other bits and pieces. Obviously I need to check that they are compatible for charging, but it is a USB. I can even charge. Your hub can be connected to an LED light or used to charge small electronics or tools such as cell phones, cordless screwdrivers, tablets, etc. That's good. You can plug your phone into the side of it if you wanted to. There's a whole host of different tools. So these accessories are for this. I'm just going to call it a wood burning tool because I'm not exactly sure of the name. They don't actually have that in the book what it's actually called. So that's what I'm going to call it, the wood burning tool. I know you can use it as a soldering iron as well as many other things. But these are different tips that you can actually put on the ends to get different markings on wood, for example. So obviously I'm going to have a play about with this over time, but there's different shapes, different sizes, different, that one's like a very fine point. So obviously we can do some stamping, some lines, that type of thing with that one. Getting some ideas from these, but obviously I need to have a play, and that's what creativity is all about, is having a play. Sort of a curved, very fine tip one. Another one to make different shapes. I probably would use this for lettering and maybe doing some kind of writing with that one. That's quite an interesting shape. It's like a 5, is it 5? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 point star, but it's sort of like rotated. Another one more of a stamping kind of thing to give you some different patterns. And then the last one is like a crescent, like a moon shape. I suppose you could also use that to burn some holes out with a twist with it. And then these, I'm not exactly sure what they're for. I'm presuming they are to attach to the end of the tool here. Then this is a comfort handle. I'm not sure which way round it goes, but that's basically for you to get more comfort if you feel like you needed. But this is quite, you know, it's non-slip. It's not going to slip out of your hands very easy. But it's got the added sheath on there if you want to put some extra grip on there. And then obviously for it to stop touching your desk, we have a little rest, which to be honest doesn't lift it that much further up off the desk as it would be on its own, but obviously it stops it from rolling side to side. Just check if it's any different that way. Exactly the same. So yeah, it's nice that it folds down and you can just put it in your drawer next to you rather than you having some great big holder for it. So yeah, they've thought of this quite well for it to be all done in a confined space. Let's just open this bit up here, because this is the bit where I figure things out rather than look in the book, which really I should do. So that bit looks like it comes out, and then you can change these for the other holders. Been helpful if you actually remembered which way you put things in. So that can go back in there like that. Tighten it up, and then you can attach these parts, and it's quite easy to hold, quite a nice grip. Myself would probably prefer to have this shorter for being able to do writing or drawing, things like that, but I think that's just something that I need to get used to. I haven't got any wood ready yet, so I'm going to do this as a separate video and actually practice things out, see what it is and how it works. I'll get just a scrap piece of wood so we can have a play about with that in a future video. If I've got that uploaded, I will put a link up at the top of the screen for you to go and check that out. I will also put a playlist together of all the Worx tools and, you know, different things that I have around the house, because my collection is building up, and I do recommend the brand. You know, I've never had any issues with them, and it's always good to share good things. So I'm going to keep all this stuff in this little box that it was given. There's no point in having it hanging around in separate parts, so I'm going to keep all that in there. Oh, didn't even notice that. These little compartments have little slidey things in them, so you can actually move these around and have it set out how you want it to have it set out. Right, so these are the bits for the rotary tool. We'll have a look at that next. So I wasn't going to do this on this video, but I thought with me having a little bit of experience using these anyway, and it's all out on my desk, I want to check the actual hub works, so I'm going to attach the battery and just see actually what I'm doing it on. First of all, I'll put my mat down. This is a cutting mat that I use for crafts anyway. So this is the tool like we said, and what can I do? I think I have a little, one of these that I was practicing on the Cricut with. We may be able to do a cut or something, I don't know. We'll have a quick look what we can do. So the good thing about this book, and I'm going to keep one of these with the accessories that are attached to it. Actually says on there what each of these things are for, what you can use them for, what the description is, that type of thing. So in this one it says sanding, cutting, grinding, etc. Then it has a picture of the actual accessory that you get, description of what it is, so like sanding paper, sanding bands, flap wheel, diamond wheel, and then next to it has a list of different materials that you can use on. So on this it has cork, wood, plastic, steel, aluminium, brass, shell, stone, ceramic and glass, and then it'll have like a little tick or a cross underneath it to say what you can actually use it on. So this is obviously plastic, so I need to see what we can use on here that is for plastic. So on plastic we can do carving, engraving and drilling. So these are the bits that come with it. So they're the things we can use on plastic. We'll just give it a quick go. I'm not expecting miracles from me because I've not actually done this yet, but I think we're going to need a little spanner that I already put away. So we press the lock button. When it clicks, we can then start unscrewing it, and then we can put in our, let's do a drill. Thought we might have needed a different collet. On these, just so you know, that bit there is the collet, and you can change those. Well, you can on my other one, I don't know if you can on this one. I think that's just spinning in place. So it looks like you can't take them off on these ones. I know you can on some others. I have to choose days when I can actually do these things. Most days my hands won't allow me. Get this plugged in, first time I'm using it on camera as well, which is a bit of a, probably a bit of a silly thing to do, but let's see if it turns on. Yep, we've got a light there. There we go. So that's as slow as it goes. And yep, that's pretty quick. I'd probably have it a bit faster than that to actually go all the way through, and I'd probably have it on something where it doesn't actually go all the way through my mat. That's why we don't do things live. Look, it's took out my mat really. I should have had that up off the desk, but hey ho, we learn from our mistakes. So yeah, that's cut a hole. That's basically as good as the hole that would come with this. It's not cracked, it's not caused any problem, it's just gone through, luckily not onto my desk, just through the actual mat. But cutting mats, that's what they're there for. So let's turn that off. Yeah, turn it off, I said. And just for safety reasons, I'm going to unplug it. Right, so that's the, whatever you want to call this, the rotary tool, that's the one. Little tip, just either photocopy this and make it a bit bigger or whatever and just have it nearby. Or you could even keep it with your accessory kit, and then you know what is what in the box. So I thought whilst we're doing a couple of demonstrations, I'm not going to go into too much depth with the other tools, but I really do want to just try this hot glue gun and just see how it is. And this little thing that was for the burner actually holds this pretty well. So I just thought I'd point that out, show you that actually stands on there. It does lift it up a little bit so it's not touching your desk. That's how it would be if it was on your desk, and obviously putting it on there just lifts it up a little bit. So this is a really handy tool to have nearby. So yeah, I think that's going to be something that I keep very handy. This may go away in a drawer with all the little bits, but I think this I'm actually going to keep it handy because I know I will use the hot glue gun regular. Right, let's load this up and see how it works. Let's see if it does warm up. I think it said in 25 seconds. My hands are getting really tired. It's probably not difficult for other people to push it in. It just isn't me. Oh, there's an on button on the actual, I didn't notice that. There's an on button on the actual machine as well. So obviously you've got the on button on the hub and the on button on the glue. Right, so we need some of the hot glue strips and we'll see how these work. How far do they push in? Right, it goes in quite far, so you've not got like a big length of glue. Oh, I'm going to turn it on and turn it on there as well. There's no light on that bit. You press and hold it, the light come on. Right, so it's 25 seconds apparently, so yeah, I will talk about something, or I'll just speed this bit up because I don't want you sat there waiting for me to finish talking. It's actually turned green. Let's see how this works and how awkward this cable might be. I think it might be just a get used to it kind of thing. Have a look. Oh, it's loading it in. You can't see that, but as I was pushing it, it was taking it in further into the machine. Now it feels like it's actually stopped moving. And there we go. I can get quite a nice neat line there. A bit wobbly at the beginning because obviously the first time I was using it, but I think that gives you quite a decent amount of control. Pretty pleased with that. Let's see how much comes out in one squirt. So that's one squirt. Do another squirt. And obviously if you do this on parchment paper, you'll be able to pick that up and actually use it. So yeah, there's the hot glue gun. Pleased with that. I think that is as much as we got in the kit. The paint air compressor thing I'm going to do a different video on. The accessories I'm going to do a different video on. For the rotary tool, I'll do that on a different video. But just thought I'd show you this and the basics of the rotary tool. I will do a longer video showing all the accessories and what you can actually use. But yeah, this is doing what I want it to. There we go. Right, hope you've enjoyed that. I hope it was informative. Thanks for coming and watching the video today. Thank you if you're joining me on the premiere. I will see you on the next video, which will be coming very soon, and these will be making an appearance as we go through. I'll put a link for them in my description. Like I said, the video is not sponsored by Worx. It'd be great if it was, but you know, I'm just showing some of the tools that I use personally. I've paid for these all myself. It's not something that I've been gifted or anything like that. So yeah, the Worx Maker X. I am quite impressed. Okay guys, see you on the next video. Bye! So this is what I mean, they're quite innovative. I know what I need to say, but the words are not coming out. Innovative. You're going to have to laugh amongst yourselves with that one. I have got no way of saying that word. It's just not coming out of my mouth, and I'm okay with it. Innovative. I know what I need to say. Innovative. Nope, not working. I'm looking at getting the heat gun and possibly the paint sprayer, but I need to figure out what projects I need to do first. Another little book like we've already looked at the other ones, and these are all the manuals that you get for the tools. Oh, you're joking me, the full thing comes with everything. I've purchased all of it in one thing and I've got the tools separate. No wonder this costs so much. Oops. And then we've got some more interesting ones that do... Stop running away. Stay. Stay. No, stay. How can it be rolling that way when it wasn't before? I think I've got a ghost. Stay still. Right, it goes in quite fast, so you've not got like a big dangly bit hanging out of the back. Sorry, you've not